Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's December 16, just 9 days away from Christmas Day. Today is also the start of the 9 mornings or Misa de Gallo, a tradition where families and friends gather before dawn to prepare their hearts for Christmas. And I just had mine earlier at the Sacred Heart Parish in Cosalem. So I'm DJ Moises. To help us reflect on the deeper meaning of the season, and why faith continues to be relevant, we are joined by Father Samuel Leidel. He's an American, but has spent years walking with people of all ages here in Cebu. Today, he shares stories, lessons, and reflections that remind us of hope, love, and the true spirit of Christmas. Good afternoon, Father Sam, and welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, maayong hapon, DJ.
Maybe you'd like to greet your followers.
Yes, my gosh. Salamat guys sa mga followers. No, guys, it's so good to see you all here. I'm very excited to be here, by the way. Thank you so much for the invitation. And I know that some of my followers are surely watching, and especially shout out to my youth, those of you who are from the Faith Hub Cebu, where I'm a full-time youth minister. So, maayong hapon, guys.
No, actually, Father, it's also kanang a blessing for me because the first time I heard you say Mass, it was also in Sacred Heart.
Was it in Sacred Heart? Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll have Mass there, yeah.
Yes, and I'm glad that
Beautiful
you're
parish. Yeah.
and I'm glad that you're active in social media because even if I don't get to hear the Mass that you are presiding, but at least I get to follow your thoughts.
You can see the homilies and everything. Nice.
Yeah. So now, because this is also an opportunity for me and the viewers to get to know you, and for those who know you to get to know you better, if you're not introduced as Father Sam, no, how would you describe yourself?
How would I describe myself? Wow, Kuya Wan. No, I would say that I'm someone who tries very hard to live life to the full. I have a life which is a little bit strange in the eyes of a lot of people. I'm a religious, first of all. I gave my life completely to the Lord, to Jesus, when I was only 18 years old, very young. I spent a lot of my life outside my home country as well. So I spent 5 years in France, and now a little bit more than 6 years, mga unong katuig diri sa Cebu City. So, and I love doing that because I love trying to discover how, like, the power of Jesus in my life. It is something that has been, it's always a little bit mysterious, but it's beautiful. And the more I try to discover him, the more I realize how beautiful my life is. So that's what I would say. Someone very busy because of that. I have lots of projects, lots of things going on, lots of invitations like this, which I'm very happy to accept and stuff like that. But it gives me a joy in knowing that I try very hard to make a difference in the world with my faith through social media, through youth ministry, and many other things as well. So
I'm curious, actually, Father Sam. No, growing up as a kid in the U.S.
Yeah.
What kind of a kid was Sam?
Yeah, I was so sa una.
Okay.
I would say I was pretty kind of introverted. I guess very different from what I am right now. It's kind of funny. I grew up in a very Catholic family. I'm the eldest of 9 kids, so dakan ko mga manghod. And, you know, we're the type of family, very Catholic. We would go to Mass every Sunday, actually even every day. We would go to daily Mass. I was homeschooled. I didn't go to school, but faith was always important for me, but also music. I was actually a violinist before, so that was a little bit of my life.
Classic or the pop?
Classical
classic
music. Yeah, yeah.
So, I think I have an idea, but I'll still ask, no?
Sure.
So,
Anything.
if you're not a priest right now, what do you think should you be doing?
That's a good question. You know, we don't really know, of course, you know, where the Lord would have called me. But so for a while, I was hoping to be a violinist. The year before I decided to become a religious with this community, I had lots of thoughts of becoming a doctor. No, because I was thinking, well, nidot nga dako akong sweldo, nga ana dako akong balay, ana something like that. I had a very different mindset before, and so I was thinking of that. Also, to serve people. I find it a very beautiful profession to be a doctor, to help those who are vulnerable. I appreciate them so much. It turns out that I became a doctor of souls, so that's what the Lord called me to do. Yeah.
Do you also dance, no? whether in private or in public, no? When you hear your favorite song.
Do I dance? Definitely not.
Like, oh, you don't? You don't do like this?
So I'm sure my youth are laughing at me right now because so just a couple days ago I tried to dance. I was doing a couple like little TikTok videos with them.
Opalite.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Wow, good ko sa kong self. Kay lisod ba kaayo ka ng mga TikTok ba? I'm a TikToker but not a dancer, no? So it's very hard for me to dance. Lisod kayo.
How about your comfort food?
Ooh, my comfort food. Gosh, I would say I love many different Filipino foods. I would say ganahan kay kog sisig. One of my favorites, pork sisig. I love mango float, mga sweets. I love humba as well. Puros mga healthy, no? Ako mga kipili ba? Yeah.
Pampabata. No,
Yes. Yeah. That's right.
So, kani, because you mentioned about kanang you also like music. So if
Yeah.
there's one Christmas song, no, that you can play on repeat the whole season,
Oh man.
what would that be?
You know, that's funny. When you asked me that question, I was thinking, oh, this is going to be very difficult to respond. But right away, I had a song come into my mind. It's Silent Night. Silent Night. I think there's so much noise in the world today. So much noise, and how much we need to experience that. I think at Christmas, that Jesus helps our life to be simple, silent, and beautiful as well. I think it's funny. It just came into my head like that. Thank you for the question. That's very nice. Yeah, I would say Silent Night. Yeah.
And Kwan, Kanisha is, if you have a superpower
Oh man,
for a day, what would you do?
I think if I had a superpower, I would want to have the superpower to cure all sicknesses. Any sickness I touch would cure, so that I could help lots of people who are sick. Yeah.
And earlier I was also curious because you mentioned about joy, no?
Yeah.
And some people, and at least the people I know, no, would associate work with stress. But in your
Yeah.
case, you are doing so much, but you find joy in what you do. Why is that so?
Well, there's also there are many times when I get very stressed as well. If you ask the youth that I work with or the other akong kauban mga pari, no, the priest that I live with, they will tell you that I can get very anxious, I can get very stressed, and I think that's something that a lot of people experience. Our world puts a lot of pressure on us to be successful, to be busy. And priests like me, we're not exempt of that as well, as you know. There's so many things that we could do. But, you know, what I would say is what helps me to be peaceful and joyful in all of the work that I have to do is actually I have this little thing where I do throughout the day I'll try to stop myself if I get a little bit stressed and just say thank you for something. It's something that I'm actually, for the last couple weeks, I've been trying so hard to do this, because during the Christmas season, my goodness, those of you watching as well, you know this, like there's so many things to do and so many expectations to live up to, right? And like, even like, for example, when I walked here earlier, I took just, when you were speaking to me, I just said, thank you for DJ, thank you God for DJ. Thank you for this beautiful studio. Thank you for allowing me to be here. This simple attitude of gratitude is what kind of like recalibrates the joy that I experience. That's mostly what I experience, but yeah.
And thank you for sharing that, because that's also what I've been trying to do when I have a hard time falling asleep.
Oh, nice.
Because normally there are also a lot of pressures inside the head and the things that I needed to do. And yes, no. So that's also something that I try to do consistently.
That's
Because
nice.
yes, once I acknowledge the good things also and the blessings
Yeah.
in life, then that's when I would also be able to find peace, no? And fall asleep.
Yeah, there's something really powerful about
Gratitude.
gratitude. I don't know. I'm discovering that more and more, because like I said, I can be also a very anxious person, and it's so easy to just put that aside, and to stick with I have to perform. I have to do this. I need to do that. And if we're going through our day all the time saying I have to, I should be, I need to do this, after a while it's like our emotions just, oh my gosh, just clock out after a while. It's just like, no, thank you. I need a break, that kind of thing. So for sure.
So what are you are in the Philippines for 6 years already now?
Yeah, a little over 6 years now.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what habits have you developed in the Philippines that you did not do when you were in the US?
Yeah. This is funny you ask this because my sister and brother-in-law, my brother-in-law is Filipino, came to visit a couple weeks ago, and he asked me something. He said, "Why are all of these? There's so many people who just sit around," and I said, "That's called tambay." Tambay is a great thing to do, and it's something that I've learned how to do, and that I'm not super good at it. Taking time every once in a while just to soak in life. And just to, that's because that's really how I see it. I mean, people could say, oh, being lazy or whatever, but for me, it's
unproductive.
really unproductive. But for me, we need to have a healthy balance, right? And it's something that I saw even before I came to the Philippines. I saw this in my akong kauban mga seminarian ba dito sa France, sa una mga Filipino ba, and I saw that they were very good at knowing how to just stop every once in a while. And so that's something that I've been trying to develop. Once again, it's not always easy. But I do like that. I think that we have that kind of openness in the culture here to like, it's okay just to sit and, it's good. It's beautiful. Yeah.
That's actually a fresh perspective because we've been hearing words of advice like live in the moment, live in the now. Not the now, Cebu province, but live in,
Live in the now.
in the now.
Nice one. Yeah.
Pero that's also what tambay can also positively mean.
The positive way of seeing
No.
it. Yeah.
So that to me is also another way of looking at it. You've mentioned that your brother-in-law is a Filipino.
Yeah. He was born and raised in the U.S., but his parents are from the Philippines. Yeah.
Was
so.
there any Filipino, maybe your brother-in-law, no, who first made you feel at home?
Ooh, that's a good question. The people who made me feel the most at home when I arrived here 6 years ago, I was only 23 years old, I was still quite young, were our neighbors, actually. So the first...
Neighbors in?
Neighbors in Banawa, Cebu City. So shout out sa mga taga-Tugas o taga-Gun Club diha. It was very beautiful. I arrived there. I had tried to learn Cebuano a little bit even before I arrived. And what I did is I made it part of my mission to learn the language when I arrived. And
How long did it take you?
It's hard to say, because it's, to be really fluent, it took a couple years, 3 years probably. Even still, I'm learning still. But maybe mga 1 year, I was able to have a conversation. Yeah, but they were very welcoming because I was just a young brother at the time. I was not yet a priest. I was just a seminarian. And they made me feel like I was part of their neighborhood. I would, go to their little fiesta things and their novenas and their Bible sharing, whatever, and just sometimes just kanang soroy-soroy para tambay diha. Ito kanang tambay ba? It was so much fun. Yeah.
And then, what was the first Cebuano phrase that you learned?
First Cebuano phrase. Good question. I'm trying to think of that little word chart that I had when I was in France before I came here. The first kind of fun one that I learned was kita-kits, which is actually, it's Tagalog, no? Isn't it Tagalog?
Pwede na po.
Pwede na po Tagalog.
Kita-ta, no?
Kita-ta.
Or kita-kits in
Bitaw, no?
Japan.
In
It's the
Bisaya.
same. No, it's still the same. Kita-kits
It's still
in
the same.
Japan.
Kita-kits, yeah.
No, kita-kits in Japan. Yeah.
Kita-kits, okay. So I started saying that, and people would smile a lot when I said it. Kita-kits! And smile sila. Yeah, bitaw.
Sige. This was on the reverse, no?
Yeah.
Because you also lived a blessed life in the US, no? What was something about the US that you miss that you still think is not yet replaced, no, by being in the Philippines?
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, my life in the America, that's where I grew up, right? So I never actually worked there or went to college there. So it's home for me, but at the same time it's funny because I feel in a way a little bit more at home in the Philippines because I adulted here. Like all of my work experience is there. But no, my life in the U.S. was very beautiful. Our family wasn't a wealthy family. My dad is a construction worker, and yeah, we lived a very simple life with all my siblings. And one thing that I would say that I think is really irreplaceable is the fact that, well, I am American. As much as I love the Philippines, I've lived here for a while. I speak the language fluently. I love the culture. Of course, kung tanang mga tao sa kung naong, Amerikano gyud, no? And I think that feeling of being one amongst people who look like me is something that it's normal that I won't have here. So it's a little bit of a sacrifice as well, because I know that I'm a little bit of an oddball here. We'd say in funny
Hybrid.
American English, kanang murag kanang kinsa man na, like he's a little bit of a weirdo, but they're very welcoming most of the time. But it's just that I'm always the one being welcomed, and never, very very rarely the one that can really welcome, So there are really times that I do miss that. Of just being part of the crowd. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
Sige. Now, well, it's hard for you to be part of the crowd because you're also active in social media.
Yes, also, yeah, sikat-sikat ka may
Sikat, no?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
how different is Father Sam online and Father Sam offline?
Yeah, so good question. I love your questions today. Very fun. So that's great. I love your question because recently, so for the past couple months, I've been telling myself that I need to make the Father Sam, the online Father Sam, and the not online Father Sam a little bit more similar. Because I think when I started out, it was normal. I was very excited. I saw the videos that were going viral, and I saw that people were very impressed that I could speak Cebuano, that I was also very kind of joyful. I have a smiling face, and it's normal that people like that. And so I kind of, I guess, allowed myself to have that kind of persona, which is partly true of who I am, but I'm trying to little by little in the content that I make slowly start shifting to the real me, I guess, which is hard to do, but which is a little bit more not like serious, but I guess more like profound as well. I'm a people person. I'm very tabian. I like to talk. I like to interact. I have a big smile, but I also like to have more deeper reflections, things that not just touching the emotions of people, but touching the hearts of people. I think is where for me, that's where my gift is, and so I'm trying to hone in a little bit more on that gift to say, no, people need to hear things that go to the heart and not just entertain. So that's where I'm trying to slowly, merge the two. Yeah.
So, ako, I'm from a generation pre-social media.
Okay.
And not post because it's still ongoing, and with social media. But I think it's also different, especially for our young viewers who were really born into social media. So
Gen
they have
Z.
not seen the world before social media. So how do you think social media is also shaping this world in terms of how they relate? How do they view relationships and how they relate to others?
Yeah, that's a question that I think about a lot because of my work as a social media content creator, but also as a youth minister. So I kind of have the two. And what I try to look at things in a pretty positive light, actually. A little bit different from a lot of people. I know that there is negative things. Like, we could say social media can make us, let's say, we look at things, we get jealous of what people post, and there's, we can waste time, and there's negative things. But what I've noticed is that the youth, the ones who kind of grew up with this, they really do have a natural kind of sense. I think it's because it's what they grew up with, of how to use it for good as well. For example, sometimes I wish I could do it more, doing TikTok lives. I just have a live, I say, ask me any question, and I just, have conversations back and forth with the youth. And I am so impressed about how sometimes how deep, how personal, how profound the things that youth share to me are on TikTok. Not to compare generations, but I think we often, I didn't really see that side of the youth before I started making it a point to minister to them online, like to say, no, I'm gonna really try to make sure that they have a space where they can learn about God and learn about mental health and this kind of thing. And so for me, that's, yeah, there's quite a bit of negative, but I really try to take what's good with it too, and to let that shine, to be like, no, it is also how they live so much of their friendships, through gaming, through TikTok, through, chat. And for us, for me, I'm kind of in between the two, but it can be kind of strange. Like, really? Like, kind of good day? Like, making friends this at Facebook, and yeah, like actually it seems
People
that
they have not even
Yeah.
met personally.
Yeah, I have youth like that. Like, and they have like their Facebook group that they make, and they like know each other, and only meet each other after a couple months or even years. They meet each other, and it's like they're already good friends. I'm like, wow, amazing, no? Like, lahi yun ang generation, no?
And then that's also good, no? Because
Yeah.
we get to hear more about how social media can be leveraged, no, for
Yeah.
something that is good.
For sure.
The other side said, and that's also something that we are kind of trying to influence in the media,
Yeah, right.
is because when you look at social media, there's also the tendency to be polarized, because the algorithm would tend to feed where
Where you like.
you like,
Yeah,
no?
exactly.
So what are your thoughts, especially for also kind of our viewers, on how we can leverage social media to create communities and not divide communities?
Yeah, that's a really big challenge, I think. And I think for me, you really point out, I think the number one danger with social media. When you're on your phone all alone, you can look at whatever you want, think whatever you want. And it's very hard to have a mind, especially, which is open to learning and not just accepting or listening to what you want, right? It's very hard. I think that the church, especially, me speaking, as a religious, has a very big responsibility to play in that, because the church naturally, the family of God, especially the Catholic Church, we really see ourselves as a community, right? It's not just like, oh, I go to church to receive a sacrament, to receive communion and go home. What it is the family of God, where we meet people, where we struggle together, where we listen to each other. And I can really say that I hope that the church will continue to use what's good in social media, right, in order to bring people back into that community. For me, even for my own mission, it's not like the video is not the end. Like, youth can watch my video, people can watch my video, but my goal in doing all of this is that they not just come back to Jesus, but that they find communities, where they can live out their faith, live out their life in a happy way.
How about in the context also of showing perfection? So how can the young people, especially those who grow up with social media, still be able to stay authentic, no? And sige, and
Yeah.
be able to develop real friendships?
Yeah, that's a good one. I think there's a big difference between an influencer and a role model. And our youth today, they need role models. And I think that's what's going to help them to be authentic. I think a lot of times, not to bash on any, me, myself, I'm an influencer, right? Influencers can be so seemingly very far away, right? Oh, I could never be like that person, oh, Father Sam.
Too
Oh,
aspirational. No?
yeah, which has its role, which is good. But I think what the youth are really looking for and what they really need is people, not just content creators as well, but people around them who they can say, I want to be like that person. I want to learn from that person. And that person has like the time to be with me, to love me. And that, I think, is what allows people to grow in authenticity. I can say that for my own life as well. For me, what allowed me to be authentic as a priest, as a brother of St. John in my community, were the elder priests that were in my seminary, and the friends that I have yeah, I learn stuff online, but I learn how to live through community for sure. Yeah.
And then the positive side also with being young at this age and time, it's also because there's just so much opportunities
Yeah.
and so much possibilities. No?
Yeah.
So whenever somebody would ask for your advice, ba, because we only have 24 hours in a day and 8 hours gitulog pa yun na to. No?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
right.
how would you normally advise them to be able to sift through the many opportunities and many possibilities for them to focus on what just matters and the rest? I'm sorry, I'll just have to pass lang sa ako ani.
Yeah, it's hard to say no. It is so hard, right? Yeah, but no, I'd say that I always tell people the greatest thing that we're gonna do in our life is love. That's the greatest thing we will ever do, and living for that is what's gonna make us happy. And so knowing how to live out that vocation to love, it's really a calling, right? I mean, we're all called to be like Jesus, to love like Jesus. And for me, it makes life so simple and so beautiful if we look at it that way. Like even every day, like, have I loved today? Who did I love today? How did I show love today? And I think if we live like that, life is so much better. Life is, because there's so many things that we could be, that we that we could become, and that's great to have dreams and hopes. But like me personally, like when I die, I will die someday. I really hope that what people will say when they visit my dead body is not, for example, Father Sam, he was so famous on social media. Like, oh, like Father Sam, he wrote this book. Oh yeah, he had so many projects. Wow, he's very talented. No, what I really hope they will say is that man loved me. That man loved me. And I think that if we live our life like that, striving for that moment when someone can feel that love, that's what makes life beautiful, I think. And that's what people need too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of
Yeah.
love,
Yeah.
kay kaning mga bata karon, no, sometimes people would
Uh-huh.
say they're going into relationships way too early, no, compared to people my time or people my generation, no. So what do you think are the qualities that they should look for them to find really kanang the real kind of love or the real kind of friendships?
That's nice. You know what's interesting is that in our gospel today that we have for the mass, Jesus, he talks about how God loves tax collectors and stuff like that. Mga sinners pa. And the reason why he does that is because he says that they're capable of change. These people are capable of changing. And I was thinking to myself, like, to come back to your question, like, if we're looking for the right person to love, or if we want to love, there's always this need to change. There's always a need to change when we love. When we love, we change ourselves, we adapt, we find time, we change not like change who we are, but change to become better. Always change to become better. And I think if you find someone who dating advice anyway.
No, pwede pud friendship.
Bitaw.
Pwede pud friendship.
Friendship pod, yeah.
Okay, because
all of us.
some of them, they have 4,000 friends.
Exactly. Yeah,
Diba?
yeah. I think that's a real mark of someone who, I mean, not that they like adapt to you in every way, but that both of you, it's a good friendship if both of you are on the road to changing for good. Not just like using one another or something like that. You're not just with someone because they make you feel good or because they have this talent that makes you feel, I don't know, appreciated, but it's that this person is challenging you to change, to become a better version of who you are. And I think that's a beautiful way to speak of love, I think.
Actually, correct me if I'm wrong, no? But I seem to capture what you also said. Kay ako man sad kanang some people, they would also ask for my thoughts, and I also have 2 nephews, no, and they're adolescents at least, no? Now they have grown up.
Okay.
And normally I would be able to tell if it's the right friendship or if it's the right love relationship.
Yeah,
if I see both of them becoming better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Murag di ako mabalaka if murag naay
It's going down.
wa nagtarong og eskwela or
Yeah.
or murag they go into vices. Di ako
Yeah.
mabalaka nga murag,
Yeah.
Pero regardless of aha sila dapit, what's the background,
Oh.
I don't care that much. As long as when I get to see when the friends are together,
Yeah.
I get to see them becoming better.
Becoming better people. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I think that's a really important thing for anyone, any age. It's like, who do I, because our time is precious. No, it's like, who am I giving my time to? Who am I letting myself be influenced by? And a lot of that, because we're relational beings, man, good. As much as we love our cell phones, we're relational beings. And so the people who we are with change us, diba? I mean, so much. So
And then the other thing, Pude Father, what are your thoughts also about how our viewers, no, kanang some of them, if they happen to struggle of achieving closeness, kay usahay man gud, like for example, what I said earlier, they have 4,000 friends, they have 3,500 friends, but at least some people I know,
yeah,
they're not close to the 3,500.
yeah, it's
So how can,
Yeah.
with an environment like this, how can they sift through that 4,000 and be able to develop closeness? No, the good closeness.
yeah, yeah. That's a great question, and I think it's different for. I mean, not to just like avoid the question, but like every person has their own life story as well, right? So like if you're, and this is like if someone has a difficult time entering into friendships or choosing friendships, it could be for many different reasons, right? But I think it's a question of coming back to to love as well, being willing to sacrifice. I think one thing that we get so afraid of when we enter into friendships, at least in my case, is that friendships also make us very vulnerable. Very vulnerable. When we are close to someone, they get to see our bad side, and that's
And you
not,
get to participate also in their
yeah, and you have to be patient with
The drama, no?
yourself, patient with them. It's not always fun, really. Even a very good friend. I mean, we're all imperfect, right? And so maybe, you know what? I'm thinking out loud here. Maybe a lot of what it is it's about bringing our expectations down. Bringing our expectations down about like what friendship is. Like maybe this isn't going to be this incredibly amazing friendship that's going to fill my heart in an amazing way, because really only God can really fill our hearts, right? And I mean, we need to love. We're called to love. But it's not going to be people that will fill my heart. So maybe there's an expectation that needs to come down a little bit. And maybe also expectation with ourselves, right? Like, I might not be a perfect friend, but that's also okay. We're on a journey. There might be times when I will hurt people, and that's never fun. But at least I can pick myself up after that time and say sorry and learn and move forward. And it's like we practice that little by little. Yeah.
Actually, thank you also, no, because I'm in my generation when there was no social media, di ba, they would always saying we don't have to believe in the standards that the movies would show, because this is just 1 hour or an hour and a half of
it's
a
very,
person's
very
life.
speed up.
So that means you don't get to see the real
Yeah.
side, no, only the good parts. And now that you brought that up, because in social media there's also a lot of reels.
Yes.
And a lot of photos, and they capture moments, not
Yeah.
necessarily live.
The life. Yeah.
So, usahay pod kung di na magbantay, I would agree, murag musaka atong standard of expectation from what we
Yes.
see on the reel.
Yeah.
And then, ang real life seem to be, anong di man ni, in an,
Someone. Yeah,
yeah.
sorry.
Continue.
Someone I'll tell you about who I think can teach us this is actually so it's perfect Christmas time is Saint Joseph. I've been so struck with his story, and how when we read his story at Christmas, like what he went through, he had to encounter in a very concrete way his imperfections, actually. Like just imagine, like adto silang duha ni Mama Mary sa Bethlehem niya, wa siya kakita og kanang lugar og tarong ba, he didn't find the place in the inn.
you would have wanted something better.
He would have wanted something better. He had to protect Mary, when they did the flight into Egypt. He had actually so many difficult things happen to him in his friendship with Jesus himself. We might think like, oh, like when Joseph like welcomed the baby Jesus, it was so amazing and everything. Like it was really hard for him. And I think he can teach us a lot. Like if the youth, for example, I know that I try to challenge them to read the Bible, right? And just things like that, like reading a story about Saint Joseph, it can teach us so much about like, okay, that's really what friendship is. Like he chose to stay faithful to Mary throughout all of the difficulties that happened in his life. He chose to be patient with himself when he couldn't find that place for Jesus. And like, yeah, I'm very touched by his story this Christmas as well. Yeah.
And speaking of Christmas, which
Ooh.
is also what this season is, no? What, in your opinion, no, what is this time of the year about?
Yeah.
Okay, so we associate it with year-end parties, na yung mga banda, na yung mga artista, and then mag-Kris Kringle, magkataghatag og something fun, something soft, no, which
Yeah.
are also fun activities.
Which is
no?
great. Which is really fun.
no?
I'm excited for my gifts. Yeah. Excited ko ano eh.
Ako po.
Bitaw, no?
No? Pero kinang at the heart of this all ba, what are these really about?
Yeah, because we can get so pressured, not just with life, but I think especially around Christmas time. Ako nag-drive ba ako gahapon ba niya. I went to somewhere to buy a gift niya. As in traffic ayo di karon. No, everyone is very busy trying to find their gift.
Taas
and
kayong pila.
Super, oh my goodness, mas stress gyud bisan pas traffic lang gyud mas stress sa mga tao, no. But for me, what I love about Christmas, even though it's so hard to live it this way, is Christmas teaches us that simplicity is the way to go. Being simple, like living a simple life. Yeah, there are lots of Christmas parties that we do, which is fun, right? I'm not saying that's bad. We can buy gifts. That's very, very good. But actually, I was very touched this year. Our Archbishop of Cebu, Bishop Abet ba? He's a friend of mine also, and he told us that we should celebrate Christmas this year, especially in light of all of that's happened in Cebu. The Bagyong Tino, ang Linog, everything. That we should celebrate it simply. And I was thinking, like, at first I was like, oh, sayang. And then actually I was like, well, you know what? That's what Christmas is all about. I mean, bringing us back to this, like, even what we love to contemplate, this image of the manger. Jesus, who chose a bed of straw instead of a nice palace. Joseph in all of his weakness, who stayed faithful to his family. Mary, who accepted to be led by Saint Joseph, and who's a very imperfect man, like all of this kind of stuff. Everything led up to this simple moment when they were with Jesus, who was God, who had come into their incredibly simple, hidden life, a life which is not seen on social media. If they had social media at that time,
Probably.
I'm sure wala gyud yung mga post about no kanang murag gitagog yun. But that was this simplicity, I think, is something that just heals us so much, like, which brings the pressure down to be like, you know what, Jesus is coming, whether I'm ready or not, and he's coming whether I'm perfect or not, and like, takes off the pressure a lot. I mean, for me at least.
And then in the Philippines, we also have kinang traditions, no, that are also passed from generation to generation.
Yeah.
Which part of this tradition you think we should hold on to and we should not lose? No?
I love the Misa de Gallo, all of the preparations that we have. I love the fervor that we have here in the Philippines to sacrifice. I think it's very beautiful. For me, I noticed very strongly in my youth, in many churches here, that love, that living, offering ourselves, there's always really an element of like, I have to feel it. Like, kuwang kog tulog pero sige lang, like, let's do this. Bitaw, no? Giduka man tang duha ba? I woke up at 3:30 or whatever. Or like staying up late at night to put the Christmas decorations up at church, or going that extra mile to find that gift for someone. There's so much like sacrifice involved in that love, and I think there could be, let's say, there could be a negative side, like, oh, we're so busy, we're so overwhelmed, this kind of thing. But I think that we need to keep that, actually. I think that we need to keep that. Not in a stressful way, but to make that into the way that we love. Like, I'm going to make this Christmas time, it might be busy in a negative way, right? but it's also where I'm gonna give myself in love. I'm gonna wake up early for Jesus. I'm gonna do all that I can to make sure I find that meaningful gift. It's not going to be perfect. I'm going to be very tired. I'm going to be very stressed or whatever. But that's even in that busyness, we can find the simplicity of love. Ba. Like it all comes down to the greatest thing we'll do in our life is love. Yeah. No.
Well, they say it's as easy and as complicated.
It is, of course,
as love,
complicated.
no?
Yeah.
Now, the other thing na naka-remember sad ko kay kanang mga Christmas party, that's
Yeah.
also like kanang daghag mga dance presentation.
Bitaw. Yeah.
And then I
Harduk
would
ko na good.
and I would always kay usahay mo rag kana ano yung maka-cause of friction. And
Yes.
whenever I am in that situation, I would always remind them nga mo nang nagsayaw-sayaw ta because para malingaw ta.
Yeah, exactly.
So if ang sayaw-sayaw nag-away na ta, then that's not the way to go.
Yeah.
No?
There's always an opportunity to, it's funny how like in all of this beauty that we
Kasi
have.
mag-away na sa choreography.
Oh, may mga tension,
Oh, yeah.
dili mga kurang, yeah, it's truly true. Di man kasi nabot ang mga kuan, mga dancers and blah blah blah. Oh yeah, I think there's always that possibility to make something beautiful very quickly into something that's not so nice for us.
If we're not mindful,
Yeah. If we're not doing it for love as well.
doing it
Like,
for love.
If we're preparing a dance for our company's Christmas party and that kind of thing or whatever for the church or etc. There can be tensions and as well. But like I said, I think for the Philippines here, we have something so beautiful of like this element of sacrifice and love, and maybe it's something that we have to try our very best to safeguard. It's like, no, this is beautiful. Like let's not ganang ayos sa paggubot ani oy ganang nidot kayo ani, like look at this, we're making this beautiful dance and like sure basta na yung mga tensions or ana pero sige lang padayon gyud kay this is also our way of offering something. Hopefully we will make someone smile, and even that like okay na gyud, Yeah.
And what are your thoughts, Father? Kani mo seryoso na gid tanong
Wow.
nagseryoso. Mobalik ta sa fun.
Sige.
Promise na mobalik ta sa fun. What are your thoughts also when some people would say nga di naman kayo relevant ang faith karon?
Sure. Yeah.
What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah. My thought about that is, of course, that it's not true. But I think it's because a lot of people, unfortunately, and me included, right, we often don't really understand what it means to believe, actually, to have faith. One thing that I love to tell, the way that I live it myself, is a lot of times when I am going through doubts of faith or whatever, I'll come back to the Bible, actually, to the Word of God. It's something that unites like all Christians, right, of all beliefs. It's something that it's such a gift from God, the Bible. And like, so coming back, for example, to Saint Joseph, who I've been thinking a lot about this year. For me, he makes life and faith so relevant because like, okay, we have all of our young generation who are, let's say very stressed or whatever with Christmas, all of us as well who are super stressed. If you read the story of Saint Joseph, you're like, oh my gosh, this guy went through the exact same thing. Like, wala na'y kalainan bitaw sa akong kinabuhi ug iyang kinabuhi. Of course, he was the foster father of Jesus, but like, there are so many similarities with his story. He had people perhaps judging him.
And dili pud siya ang bida.
Yeah, I mean,
among the characters sa Christmas, murag siya ang...
Siya ang murag tago-tago man.
Oh.
Yeah, kanang ulaw ba or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
But his life is so amazing, and it's like when you really try to like go beyond just the exterior, okay? Like, faith is only about being a good person, okay? That's part of it. But that's not the real essence of what it is. Or faith is about going to mass every Sunday. That's very important. We need to go to mass every Sunday, but it's in order to make us live something incredible, amazing. And if we just see that what are gonna be done outside of the circle, if we don't peel open the fruit, we won't taste the beauty of it. And for me, going back to the scriptures every day as much as I can, reading that, I see more and more that like, wow, God has so much to say to us today, so much to say. Saint Joseph is just one example of how like he went through really dark times, and precisely in that moment when God came into his life, right? I mean, like he received the baby Jesus and all of his plans were destroyed. I mean, how many people today feel like that? You know, oh, I had a plan to be like this. I wanted to do this. I had this plan. And oh, God destroyed my plan. So now he's not faithful to me anymore. It's like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. This happened to St. Joseph as well. Like, look at this. He was thinking to have a nice, cute little life with the Virgin Mary. Destroyed, young plan. He became the foster father of God. He thought everything would go well. Destroyed because King Herod wanted to kill his baby. You know, death threat yun siyang anak ba? Oh my gosh, you know, it's crazy. His life was really nuts. Yeah.
And then, kung ano gid, last na ni sa serious question,
Yeah,
Father. No?
yeah.
What about kay kanang, di ba, like in during the holiday season, there's always that festive kanang vibe around, no?
Yeah.
But some people, they also go through. I'll start with, they go through kanang heartache, and then the other thing, pod on the lighter, no, not lighter even, heartache, and then the other side is they went through earthquake. They went
Right,
through
yeah.
kanang flood, and
Yes.
then everybody around them seems to be festive, but for some reason they are not in that spirit. No, they're not feeling the vibe at all.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about how they can reclaim the hope in at this particular moment when everybody's rejoicing except them?
Yeah, that's really hard, no? I think every Christmas is different as well. I think sometimes we have Christmases where we feel the vibe, it's amazing. We feel the blessings of God, something incredible happened in our lives. You know, many things can happen. About ganang promotion, you know, beautiful things happen, we feel it. And there's other times when, because of the difficult things that we're going through, like I imagine many people watching this episode perhaps know they went through difficulties with you know, Baguio, Linog, everything. Like we can say, and honestly, and that's okay to say that, you know what, this Christmas is not quite like the other ones this year for me. It's not quite as joyful. It's not quite as exteriorly exciting. It's not quite what I expected it to be. But the heart of it can still stay there. The heart of it can still stay there. And that's your choice, actually. I mean, it's your choice. It's like, are you going to choose that you're going to live Christmas and accept and to believe that no one can take that away from you? I mean, God is coming into your life. That's what we celebrate on Christmas, no matter who we are. And it's up to us to say yes to that, to say yes, no matter what it looks like, whether it looks like, you know, an earthquake came and ruined our house or not. We can always say, you know what, Jesus, thank you for being here. Thank you for accepting this kanang gubot kayo bitong a situation where I'm in right now, where I've perhaps lost faith in you a little bit, where my faith is shaken, where I see so many people suffering around me and I don't know what's going on. But you're here. Thank you for being here. And sometimes that's what's going to make Christmas beautiful.
And okay, lighter side of things.
Sige, bitaw. Balik ta sa kwan.
when you unsa may mga kanang Christmas experiences mo, whether in Cebu or in the US, that make you smile. Kana makahinumdum ka murag.
Mga sayaw, actually.
Unsa man yung mga sayaw?
Bisan ako, di gud ko ka mamusayaw. Naglisod kayo musayaw, good.
Ayun na lang. Was there any particular, unsa man siya, TikTok, unsa yung tawag na? Kana mga opalite ba?
mga trending, kana
mga trending songs that you were convinced to do.
To dance myself?
Yes.
Wala again.
Wala di convinced di mo?
No, but I like watching others do it. No, because actually I think it's partly because I know that I don't have that talent, that I love to watch others do it. Like, and I mean, Filipinos, you guys are so good at dancing, you know, and we have the Sinulog coming up next month, which is like my favorite month of the whole year, right? So, but I think the Christmas, at Christmas parties, I'm thinking especially of like, namin yung kind of mga scholars, you know, little mga elementary students, high school students, and just seeing them, they're not professional dancers, but they're so sweet. And that gives me so much joy, that youthfulness of.
And what about kanang the young people like me? No? The young people do these days that make you shake your head in a good way. In a good way, shake your leg.
You know one thing. Okay, this is also funny though. This is also funny. You know, kind of bitong sa Messenger, you can write your little note, diba? Kind of notes, or on Instagram, you have your profile picture and then there's a note. For me, sometimes because I'll, you know, read, I love my youth so much, and sometimes I'll read them. Kind of bitong mag vent man sila, you know, sa social media. and at the same time I laugh, and I laugh with a, like you said, oh my gosh, like venting about sa ilang ang budoy balik bisag unsa may tapos
Tatawa ka na
live.
maoy, no? Maoy.
Yeah.
Maoy. Okay, continue. And then,
Kanang traffic kayo or something like that. Or kalis, oh, I did not sleep for the last 4 days or blah blah blah, something like that. Like, oh my gosh, you guys are so funny.
now, if there's one lesson,
Sure.
Whether it's a Christmas lesson or whether it's a life lesson that you wish our viewers or even me would carry for the rest of 2026.
Oof, wow.
No? What would that be?
Life lesson?
Or Christmas lesson nga. Murag mo ingon ko nga timan ilang gid ni DJ, It will get you through 2026.
Wow, something that will get you through 2026. Okay. Be easy on yourself. Yeah, be easy on yourself. I think for me that's the big one. Speaking first to myself, me, I'm a person with all my. Let's say I have lots of followers on social media. I do lots of things. It's so easy for me to put pressure on myself. So easy to do that. And I think what will get me, and that's why I'm sharing this to you and to our viewers through 2026, is knowing that the life that we have right now is such a blessing. The fact that we're alive on this earth, loving people, being here is so beautiful, and we can be happy because of that. We can be like, wow, I'm alive, thank God, and to take some pressure off yourself as well. I think, like I said, it's very hard to do. Huh? I'm the worst. Out of all of the, I'm the worst.
I'm worser.
Worser. The worstest.
And then finally, if there's
Sure.
one emotion
Okay.
that you would pray, that the viewers, including myself, would be with me, not just this season, but all year round, what would be that feeling?
Gratitude. Yeah, gratitude, I think. It's not easy, once again. Everything I'm saying is not so easy to live. But gratitude, it heals our hearts so much. And I think it's something that we always know that it will heal our hearts in some way. Like it's almost like a little medication you can always take that'll always make your day better. Discover that spirit of gratitude, even just the very, very simple things. Yummy coffee in the morning. Wow, nakainom ko 3-in-1, nakainom ko kopi ko, salamat kayo, oh my gosh, like, gratitude ba? You see the weather's beautiful, you see someone smile, you see in your children, in your spouse, in your family, and just like letting all this goodness that's around us. I think especially this year, we've gone through so much. Letting us soak in this goodness and claiming it for ourselves, like saying, no, like look at this beauty around me. My life is beautiful, despite of all the things that I'm going through. Yeah, gratitude. Yeah.
And before we let you go, Father,
Sure.
maybe you'd like to tell our viewers about how they can catch you.
Catch me if you can.
Where can they can follow you,
Yeah,
or where they
sure.
can see or hear more of you?
Yeah, sure. So
Sige.
I'll tell you about. So I my favorite thing I wanted to let you know about is I have a daily reflection that I give on. It's an app. It's called Hallow. It's spelled, so for the viewers, it's spelled HALLOW. And I give a daily reflection on the gospel every day. It's in English as well. And then for the other things, so akong Facebook page, Father Sam, my TikTok, Father Sam got TikTok. And then I also have, Instagram and YouTube in English, those two. So yeah, I hope to see you there. It'd be fun.
And Father, the reason why I was actually going through my social media, because you have some fans, no? And si Annalyn
Si Annalyn
Carali.
Carali. Oh, Vito.
And then she said, "Bossing."
Oh, cute. Annalyn. Shout out, Annalyn.
And then
she edits my videos. Yeah, she edits some of my videos. Yeah.
akong New Year wish nimo kay Kuan. Sana TikTok
Bitaw.
dance ang i-edit ni Annalyn pag 2026. No?
Pressure's on.
And then the other one is from Nora Beck, Floralde, Tababa. Good afternoon, Father Sam.
Oh, maing hapon. Good
And then si
afternoon.
JN Albino Moreno. Hello.
Yeah, oh, JN.
Sheep Chaser?
Oh, Sheep Chaser. Yeah, that's my Facebook name. Yeah, or Instagram. That's my English brand name.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. JN Pais.
Oh, and then si Andrew.
Andrew, yes.
Like
Andresa.
Anne Drew, no?
Yes, yes.
Sheep Chaser is si Bert Lacre wala ni wake up early for Jesus. Murag ni sumbog ni.
Among friend ba? Wa siya ni mata para misa di galio.
Ah.
Mahimo siya public in news now. You are on the news, Bert. You did not wake up.
Bawi
But God
tomorrow,
loves you
no?
anyway.
And then from Christopher, God bless you, Father Sam. Thank you for sharing your
Wow,
word of
God
God.
bless you, Christopher.
And from Andrew Steele, syempre support ko sa akong boss.
Aww.
And then si JN, idol Jude Kaayo, si Padre Sam.
Basta mga comments. Good. JN. Pais.
And thank you, Father Sam, from JLP and from Bert. Wanna the more I read,
si
no,
Bert, yeah,
the more they
same,
also
balik-balik sila.
they also said messages. So shout out, Father Sam. And then this is from Mitch and he's a good friend.
Oh really?
Mitch
okay.
Alforque. And then he said,
Mitch.
Fads, you
Hey
should
Mitch, yeah.
you should invite DJ for Alpha. What's any frat?
I'll tell you about it.
Ah,
Ooh,
okay.
Alpha. Oh yeah. He's your friendy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're good friends.
Guys,
Hi,
thank
Mitch.
you for watching, everyone. My gosh, sweet. Hey, that's so fun.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I think we just have to wrap up this conversation, Father.
Yeah,
But
thank you so much.
I truly have a great time, and
I did too. I
I'm
did too.
hopeful this is not the only or the last one, but we will have more conversations,
yeah.
especially mag Valentine's na sad.
Right. What are your kayo?
Oo.
Yeah, sige.
No, so I think there's
Chika
I can chica kita kits,
Oh, kita
no?
kits, chika
Kita
sata.
kits. And yes, as we wrap up this conversation, we are reminded that Christmas is more than lights, gifts, and celebration. It is about connection. It is about hope. It is about love and the acts of kindness that make life meaningful. Thank you, Father Sam, for sharing your time, your wisdom, and your heart with us.
Thank you, DJ. Thank you so much.
And I'm DJ Moises, and from all of us here at the studio to our viewers, may your Christmas be filled with joy, love, and moments that truly matters. Happy holidays.